Hi, Kevin James here from Lowdown Guitars. Welcome back. This is video number 2 in our series on this channel. Just thought I'd take a few minutes today to talk to you about different aspects of tune-up work that we do here at the shop. A lot of guitars come in, owners complaining that it doesn't stay in tune, the neck seems to be out of alignment, the action's hard to play. So we're just going to take a couple minutes today and look at a lot of the different aspects that we'll look at in your typical guitar tune-up. First of all, on the subject of guitars that tend to go out of tune when you bend strings, from experience in the years that I've been doing this, about 90% of the guitars that come in have the strings wound on the tuning keys improperly. Either the person has knotted them through the holes, or they've tried to wind the entire length of the string onto the tuner, crisscrossing it. That doesn't really allow for a lot of tuning stability on a lot of guitar tuners. One of the things that we pay attention to when the customer complains about not staying in tune is really making sure that obviously we put the strings on properly and that the customer now knows how to do it afterwards. Another aspect related to the tuners is what a lot of people tend to neglect, is that the tuners are held through the headstock by bolts and screws. There's an assembly here, and oftentimes over time this will become loose, so the tuner post will start to wobble. And when you're playing chords and bending strings and kind of like pushing the strings around, that will contribute to instability, and that could be one of the reasons why the guitar doesn't stay in tune very well. So we always pay attention to that, make sure the tuners are nice and tight, and the screws are holding everything in place, along with the bolts here in the front. Still in the headstock area on the guitar, oftentimes, even if the strings are wound on properly and the tuners are tight, it's still not staying in tune properly. So we've got the string nut up here, which is often a source of problems, because on guitars sometimes what happens is that the slots are too tight for the gauge of string that's being used, or they may be the right width, but the bottoms are not shaped properly. Oftentimes they're cut more of in a V shape, which isn't conducive to having a round string slide through it. Because what we want is, when the player bends strings on the instrument, that the string can move in the nut but then slide back into its original position, so it comes back in tune. So one of the things that we'll pay attention to is making sure that the nut slots are properly cut, that the bottoms are rounded for the most part, allowing the string to slip through. So that's a lot of what goes around here on the headstock end of the guitar. Moving more up the neck, one of the things that can be out of alignment is the relief in the neck. Some people complain that after 6 or 7 months after their last tune-up, the guitar will start to feel stiff in the middle position, which is one sign of a neck that's bowing away from the strings. So the relief and this distance from the string to the fret is increasing, making it difficult and stiff to play. It can always go in the other direction. Oftentimes when the weather gets drier, necks will have a tendency, depending on the piece of wood, to bow towards the string, so we'll start getting a lot of buzzing here in the middle position of the neck. So that's all correctable through truss rod adjustments, which is something that we do as part of a tune-up here. And the rod is either adjustable at the headstock end, as on this guitar, or on others at the body end. So relief in the middle of the neck is an important aspect of guitar tune-ups. Sometimes we get other customers come in complaining, the bridge is lifted up. This one is mounted on springs. It's a standard spring-mounted tremolo, and what's happened is the customers put on strings that are too heavy gauge. They pull too much, higher tension, and the springs in the back can't counteract the pull, so the bridge lifts up in the air, putting the whole guitar out of adjustment. That's a lot of the common complaints that we deal with here. I'll be coming to you in further videos with more aspects of guitar tune-ups, and probably in the next video we'll be looking at electronics. So thanks for tuning in today. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Kevin James, Lowdown Guitars, thank you very much.